innovative content, global audience.
Hello, good morning, Nigerians. How are you doing today? It's International Women's Day, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be here. Of course, I'm a woman. I should be happy. All my women out there, how are you doing? It's your day. Feel good. Love yourself. Anyway, this is your favorite show. Of course, Wake Up Nigeria. You're welcome to the show. I'm Princess KESSY. Daddy KRIS, nice to have you on the show with me this morning.
You woke me up so early. Here I am. Have me. Happy Women's Day to you. I want to
Thank
say
you,
that Andre
thank
voice
you. We
to sing
feel
Happy
fly, we
Women's Day.
feel fly, we feel fly this morning. And of
Mm.
course, it's International Women's Day. We happy to be here, to be alive, and of course, to my women out there, I will always tell the women, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're strong, you're powerful. First of all, love yourself. Don't mind what the environment tells you, what the people tells you. You're amazing, you're strong. And of course, to all the strong and amazing women out there, the mothers, the young girls, the youth, we say, well, I love you personally. I'm so thrilled today that today's our day. And of course, Daddy KRIS, you're just going to leave us today to do our thing, right?
I'm quiet. I'm quiet. What do I know? You know, I
You
am.
should say something, of course, to the women. Anyways, this morning I'm live from Abuja, and of course, Daddy KRIS is joining us in from a London studio. Nice to have you again, Daddy KRIS. We'll go
Thank
quickly. Of
you
course,
very
we'll
much.
talk about the Women's Day. I saw and heard one of the newspaper headline. Of course, we're going to get to that, but it's something that we're going to discuss about as regarding International Women's Day, and of course, election issues, tribunal here and there, beavers issues, the naira swap policies. All these are what we have on our headlines this morning. And so we move quickly to the newspaper review this morning. I have with
Okay.
me here. These are the stories making waves on the Nation newspaper this morning. We have the major headline is INEC
Yeah, can you
reset
just say
of.
something, Princess? And I just accept so
Okay,
we can see you as you
all
read.
right,
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
all right,
better.
yeah. INEC reset of beavers a must for governorship polls. Court decide today on LP's legal battle with election agency.
What did they mean by reset of beavers? I don't understand. Maybe you need to read that up. Yeah.
Yes, reset of beavers a must for governorship polls. That is
Okay.
what we have on the Nation newspaper. That's one of the major headline. And of
Okay.
course, so that decrease, there has been so much calls from different quarters that the beavers they should be worked on before the governorship election. But of course, we don't want to have the same issues we had during the presidential polls, issues of beavers not working. Of course, one of the polling units I also went to in Abuja during that election, we saw that there was a massive crowd and it was just one beaver that was working. The others were not working. But while I was there, I saw the officers came in, and of course they had to bring others that and try to repair that one. So these are some of the issues. We don't want these same issues repeating itself on Saturday. So we are appealing also, and I bet this person here is appealing this a call is for the INEC to reset, to repair whatever language, to fix these beaver issues and some of these issues we had during the presidential election, of course, before on Saturday. So we don't have the same issues over and over again.
Yeah, but Princess, I know you reviewed the newspaper. One confusing thing was it the beavers that was the true challenge, or the results were not released through the appropriate channel? Because what you can see is people do whatever voting they do. If the result is not immediately relayed to the INEC headquarters, that is where the whole damage happened between there and the delivery. So if
Yes.
on the announcement of that result, everybody have it and it is sent out immediately, the wrong person will never be declared president or governor. You understand? And I think that is the issue. Beavers, yes, qualify you to come and vote. That is clear. But what the problem was really after the voting. After the voting, the results were not immediately transmitted. And for that reason, they did a lot of changes. That's why you see people who were thumb printing, because I saw those videos in the 21st century and I was ashamed. And we're going with your thing, doctor.
But of course, these are some of the issues that brought delays that day. And if I met a woman at the hospital that told me that she was rushed to the hospital. She went to the poly unit as early at 6 a.m. that day. A mother, of course, an elderly woman, and then she had to stay back till like I think 8:30 p.m. before she could vote, and she wanted to vote. She said to herself that she must vote, and of course from there they had to rush her to the hospital. I think she had issues with ulcer and all that. As of yesterday, I met her. Also, she's still, but though she's recuperating and all that. But these are some of the issues. When these things are in place, people just go and they do what they have to do and leave. Of course, you don't have to necessarily keep them the whole day. People have health issues and some other challenges. Anyway, we move on. There's a story here that APC supporters march for democracy. Of course, we know this story is on page 6 and 27 of the Nation newspaper. Alake insists poll credible. Now, this is coming after, of course, Atiku, the PDP, and of course the LP had a demonstration here in Abuja. They had a peaceful protest over as regarding the elections outcome. Of course, APC also now did yes, their supporters marched also for democracy. So it's I don't know, vice versa, or you do, I do,
What
something
are they
like
saying? People are allowed. People have grievances. They've channeled
that.
it legally.
Yes,
And that's the most important thing, you know.
the march was for the support of democracy, that the election was free and fair. This is
Ah,
coming from APC. So the PDP
what
and
do you
LP, of course,
expect?
did not dispute or distort our peace and all that. So they had to march, of course, to also pour out their grievances over the action of PDP and LP party. We have another story.
I don't know this new law between PDP and MP. We'll come to that another time. Do your
Of
thing.
course, we'll come to that another time. We have another story here, making waves, transform Nigeria. Nasir tears Tinubu on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. Victory well deserved. That is also coming from NSCIA. This is coming from them. And then we have another story here on page 27 and 26 of the Nation newspaper. Shonwolu takes campaign to markets. Makinde engages clerics, canvasses peaceful poll. And these are the issues. I don't know why they always go to churches, to clerics, and all that. So the people should I always say that the people should have their own mind, not what your cleric or your pastor tells you to do. Vote with your conscience. My pastor or Reverend Father cannot come and tell me you must vote this person. No, I'm an adult. I have my own say, but we move on now. So the other story is making waves this morning. We have a story here that says soldier charged with drug trafficking.
What do you expect? By the time you pay the peanuts, and you say they shouldn't be doing evil things, you know, our security men are very, very gentle. You understand? Because you
So
cannot keep a man with a gun, with all the training, with his future, and you give him 70,000 naira to reach his life for a nation. It's
it's
wrong. You
pathetic.
understand? In fact, I'm so concerned with the salary structure. Even when you guys blame your policemen, I can't even imagine the police in England being paid that kind of money. Anyway, it's not going to even get up from his house. It's going to tell you to go to hell. You understand? So that's the kind of thing. I think that is where it all comes from. I know it's not an excuse to go for you, soldier men, to go and begin to carry drugs, but Nigerians should know that until this philosophy is really addressed, we're going to have this kind of scenario.
And then we have a story here also that says groups to INEC ignore PDP LP.
Who
We
said
have
that?
another
From APC?
a group. No, they said groups, different groups now calling
Yes,
on
yes,
INEC
yes.
to ignore, of course, to ignore LP and PDP over this election problems, crisis, the result crisis. And then we have
Yeah.
also here Daniel, Jimo, Bamidele, 98 senators elect get certificates of return. Now, these are some of the stories making waves on the Nation newspaper this morning. That will be all from the Nation newspaper. And then Daddy Chris, like I will always say, right? I think people have right to, this is election and it's expected after every election that of course the next place to go is the tribunal. There is no election without these issues. You must have to go to court for one reason or the other. So when I see these people trying to stop or trying to say some people don't have right to, it's really pathetic. And
No, no, I don't think they said they should
especially
ignore
when
them.
the
Their language is
especially
careful. You said ignore
especially
them.
when the evidences are so glaring that they were malpractices up
But that
everywhere.
would be your
So
point of view, princess. To them,
yes,
Baba don't win. Everybody should keep quiet. And what do you think?
yes,
If you saw what happened, you're beating people up. If Labour did this thing, I'll be attacking Labour now. If PDP, I don't even like PDP. That's what I'm saying. PDP did similar things in Delta State. And here they are crying that let's leave that matter for now. Let me keep quiet. So that is the best thing to do because I'm not happy with it.
yes. Of course, you know how it is with politicians, with groups, and I believe some of these groups, once you give them little money, they come and they start bashing the opposition. That's what they do. Of
That's
course,
it.
we know that.
Uh-huh.
And then we move on quickly to the Punch newspaper this morning. These are some of the stories making waves. On
Okay.
the Punch headlines this morning, we have fuel stations. Others reject old naira banks ration cash. Fuel stations. Others reject old naira banks ration cash. So I was at the filling station. Of course, we're going to talk about that story also, and you could see that most of these bankers, they don't even take, except for the new naira notes, they don't take the old naira notes, and of course they don't take transfer either. It's either you pay with the new naira or you pay with your card, which will have to be approved, of course, before you get the product. And so it's quite frustrating here in Abuja. A lot of people are going through hell. And of course, we'll see that from some of the footages of the Vox Pop we did. We talked to some Nigerians at the filling station. If you go like this morning, the queue it's so long, it's terrible. People had to practically sleep over at the station. So it's something we'll discuss over. We have another story here. Accepting old 500, 1,000 will hamper business, says retailers, others. So this is coming from Nigerians, the market people, the retailers, and others are saying that bringing back this old naira notes are going to just cause more damages to businesses. Of course, CBN also, there's a story here. CBN adamant refuses to direct banks to obey Apex court judgment.
It's
This
kind of very confusing. The essence of a law, like a lawyer was saying, is for people to obey the law, and for the law to move society forward. If you make a law, if you pass a judgment and it's not being obeyed, that becomes a problem of an issue. You can tell the president whether he has done something wrong, but the question is if they want to act along, like you said now, Apex Bank will refuse to do that because you're going to bring two denominations at the same time. The question I ask is, why can't they just release the new naira notes?
to the new one there. That's what everybody's. That's what they're saying. Also, you can't come and say after the sum. After all, people suffered. People
Yes,
went through hell at the end of the day. So what's the point of bringing it back? That means all what they went through, the torture, the torment, is for nothing, and
nothing.
it's really
That makes sense.
pathetic.
And then we're going to go through this process again because at the point in
Yes,
time, it will be
yeah,
banned
yes,
again. And then we're
yes,
going to go through the same thing again. So why we just
yes.
deal with it once and for all?
Once
You
and
know?
for all. That is the
And
call of so many Nigerians also. And then we move forward now. We have a story here on page 34 of the Punch newspaper that says aviation fuel hits 840 naira. Airlines predict flight delays. Problem left and right in this
in fact,
country.
that of the only way people move around in the country now is through with the aviation, with the air. And if that one is having an issue, because people can hardly drive, they don't go by road anymore for security
Cannot.
reasons.
Insecurity issues, you dare not go too far.
And so now, if we cannot even fly, then we are finished. In fact, the government don't even understand what they're up against. And I feel so sorry for the Nigerian government because it is a situation that is so difficult. It's critical
It's
for
really
them.
sad. It's really sad. And then we have over, this is coming from federal government on page 12 of the Punch newspaper that says over 200 cyber attacks blocked during presidential poll. Federal government. Of course, probably
Yeah, it's
it's,
possible. It's possible
it's
because there
possible.
will be this series of attacks from international, local, young boys. There are a lot of hackers these days.
Yeah,
I
of
met a
course.
young boy in the UK one day. Said I asked him what he's going to do. He said he's going to be a hacker. But he's
Plain
7 years old. He knows that his job is going to be a hacker. He knows that already. And I'm so scared. And I said, "You are going to be a hacker?" He said, "That's what I'm going to do." You understand?
that is really sad.
It's very, very.
Of course, also we have a story here. Beavers data intact. This is coming from INEC test courts and parties.
Okay.
This is coming from INEC, of course, to courts and to the aggrieved parties on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Now we have another story here. LP NNPP kick as police bar dogs from pulling boats. Now, the police are saying they don't want any form of pets, whether dog or whatever, um, around polling units. Anyway, who was going to take a pet there? Maybe uh, some people are taking them to protect their votes. I don't know, but you're not supposed to. Then we have a story here. Lagos, Kanu gets lion's share on local government's share, 2 trillion naira on page 34 of the newspaper. First scarcity
How
to
much is that?
linger.
They sharing some big amount of money. Then when I hear money, my ears begin to open.
That's quite much. 2 million naira, 2 trillion. I beg your pardon, 2 trillion naira. And then we have another story here on page 34 of the Punch newspaper that says, "For scarcity to linger till after elections, marketers." This is coming from the marketers, and this is where my major concern is this morning. I think that this fuel crisis is something that, because not just for the fact that I have, of course, I own a car and I drive, but the fact that people go through a lot, it is really pathetic. I cannot imagine married women, young people, old people at the filling station, sleeping over at the filling station, or even going there as early as 4 a.m. This is not good at all. So I think there's of course, we're going to talk to the appropriate people as time goes on
Yes,
this
we'll
whole
invite them
issue.
and let them
Yes,
tell
on
the
this very
Nigerians. I think you should do that. You
yes,
should do
on
that.
this very issue. I'm just thinking that this is too much. This is too much. It's something that has to be done as a matter of urgency. We have another story here that says, Oyo State, go out and on Saturday and vote Makinde and PDP House of Assembly candidates.
God, Makinde maybe, but PDP again. Sometimes anytime I hear PDP, I get sick because I just want PDP anyway. They are not coughing. They've been buried, and it's shame. I don't know why. I don't know why really, because
Okay.
maybe their choice of candidate, their greed, it's all out attempt to get power back. For me, the choice of Atiku was a huge mistake and a big one. Well,
It's really pathetic. It's really pathetic. The fact is that people did not know that a man without a structure will actually come this far. And
they
as he
used to watch
stand,
culture, and they forgot that the kids are these days that they no more use traditional television. This is their television.
yeah,
And when you people that live here, Princess, I was in the jury and we were 12 in the room. Do you know once we retired to the room, they had to take the phone from us because they know the phone will distract us. We will be looking at our phone and actually deliberating on the case. So that is how bad it is. We adults. Then imagine young people. You take my phone from me for 1 minute, now I'm confused. So you're dealing with a new generation, you understand? And it's so you cannot write the same narrative of those days. Peter would have won this election because the young people wanted him. And in fact, the luck you have is the fact that some people, the level of education in Nigeria is still low. Otherwise, it would have been 90 to 2. You understand? It would be 98 to 2 votes. That's what we would have gotten. But anyway.
All right. So, of course, we know that PDP, of course, they are trying so They are trying so much as it stands to overtake also, but we know that people are not a lot of you could see what Okowa's daughter did. They are going to beg Labour Party
Yes.
youths to come and
In
vote
fact,
for them. It's really a shame if you
in
ask
fact,
me.
talking about the hardship in Nigeria, look at what Kevin said. He said his electioner couldn't return home yesterday. He slept at the petrol station till now, yet not back.
These are the issues. It's really like I said, it's sad. I was at the filling station as early as 5 a.m. and I saw people slept there, and I felt the pains of Nigerians. And like I told myself, I don't think I can do this. Like, come and sleep here till morning. It's not something I will be able to do. So I feel for those who actually went there to stay over. It's really, like I said, it's pathetic. Also, we have, I'll move that's all from the Punch newspaper. I'll move quickly now to the Daily Trust. These are some of the stories making waves this morning. We didn't direct banks to disburse old notes. This is coming from the CBN, and the confusion is what I don't get. The confusion is just, so how come okay, CBN is saying something, the court
The
is
High
saying
Court is
something.
saying something else. That is where the executive play a very strong role. We have three arms of government. Yes, the judiciary is the final say, but the people that actually execute this law is the executive. And you cannot, a lower executive body cannot tell a higher executive body what to do. And that is the case. You can go to court and they can say anything. The president can say, okay, I've heard you, but I'm not ready to do it. Now, he's not going to say it directly, like what he said now, we have not directed. He said, if the court directs you, you can do it, but we have not directed. We still have an authority to do certain things. It might be against the law to some extent, but they're doing their job. Suppose they think it's in the interest of the nation. That's something we will discuss on a constitutional level.
Yes, and I'm really hoping also that some of these fuel station, I'm thinking, I don't know whether we can not totally blame them, but they take the way they treat some of these people also. Nigerians, sometimes they take things too personal and too serious. You already have the product. We know that you're trying to hoard it, but what's the point anyway? You're still going to sell tomorrow. Why not just sell today? And at the point we know that it's no longer there, it's no longer there. So sometimes they sell
You
like
don't get me,
20
Princess.
people, then they
Princess,
go up,
no,
sir.
Princess, if they have some stock now, if you have some stock now and the price automatically change, what will happen is you'll be able to sell for the new price. So they want to hoard what they have to have enough in reserve. So when the price changes, what we were selling for 100 and something naira, if you now sell for 400 naira, the massive gain. That is what these guys are doing. And we can
Of course.
understand them. It's the government that needs to deal with them properly. And that is something, because if I release fuel for you to sell, if I am the Nigerian government and you're not selling it, then you have a problem with me. I'll close you down. Yeah,
And then we have some of the stories also here making waves. More banks pay old currency. We have also business outlets reject notes. I mean the old naira notes.
of course not.
Direct Apex Court to obey Supreme Court order. Buhari urged. This is coming from the president on page. All these stories you could see on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. We have a story here, International Women's Day special publication on page 17 2 of
Happy
the
Women's Day. When I hear that one.
It's all about women. We can't keep, we
yeah.
can't.
Mouth is sealed.
Yes.
It's as if you guys are not powerful enough.
We have another story here on page 46 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Elder statesman Musa Musawa died in Kaduna. A sad one. We have another story here on page 43 of the newspaper. Muslim leaders set agenda for Tinubu. We have a very sad story here on page 12 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 8 months pregnant Abuja woman gang raped. These are some of the issues. This is really, really sad. Who would want to do such a thing? 8 months pregnant. Like, I feel pains right now.
Yeah.
This is a story we should develop on. This is really sad. It's a sad one. Like, it's too sad. But who could want? How come somebody would just want to? I know that people do evil. I know that people want to carry out evil things, but this is way too much. Anyway, it's really a sad one. We move on now to governors in last minute push. Woe voters with incentives. Of course, this we say this is of course last minute push. We know all that. This is coming from the governors. We know that at this point they want to do everything, strive so hard to make sure that they have people on their side. But of course, like I said, the youthful people will always decide. These days, I don't think people want to go after your bag of rice or your 10,000 naira or
Yeah,
your 100.
that time is gone.
That time is
So,
gone. Yes, so people are really moving on quickly. And then we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we continue with the newspaper review. Stay with us and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate for huge extra opportunity in diaspora. Look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15 to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814 358 2856. The Nigerian Week, celebrating the best of Nigeria from the rest.
yes.
You welcome back. This is Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, we've been on the newspaper reviews. We'll move on quickly also to we move on to the Blueprint newspaper. And these are some of the stories making waves this morning on the Blueprint newspaper. We have as Atiku Obi challenges February 25th polls results. Tinubu prepares defense. Appeals court rules on Beavers machines today. So we have the court. We can see that the court has been so busy, and of course we continue to be busy for this period.
In fact, our constitution, in a way, our constitution is unique. They're doing their job. They're doing their job to some extent.
Yes. So we have another story here. Shekaru absent as 3 female senators elect. 95 others get certificates of return. Custom nabs cartel with 600 vehicles, fake documents. Oh, that's much. We have another story here that says March 11, brace up for credible pools. Sam Bars tells INEC, security agencies, police ban dogs, other pets at polling units. IGP engages banks over officers' allowances delay. These are some of like what you said earlier. I don't think the police, the security agencies, they are doing they are also, even though we know that there's no structure in Nigeria, they are doing their best to secure the people. So the allowances, their money should be paid in due and of course on time.
I didn't even well paid. If somebody is not well paid and you're paying peanut and you're delaying it.
They are delaying the payment.
And you give him a gun. You guys are not scared.
That is really sad. That is really sad. And when we have a story here also that say, this is coming from Abuja, fire raises day furniture market, sad one. On page 14 of the Blueprint newspaper, we have another story here that says Akwa Ibom CB inspector orders to pay 2 million naira damages to suspects. On page 6 of this newspaper, that will be all on the paper. And this Blueprint newspaper will quickly move on to leadership. What we have, so these are some of those headlines making waves this morning. Governors tightened nose on opposition on page 4 of leadership newspaper.
Not
Tinubu
unexpected.
speak, yes, at this point everybody is and is really a sad one, because as it stands now, Nigerians are no longer, they are not buying this trick anymore, and
No,
it's
and
good.
I think all of them, they know. In fact, I like that the Lagos State governor, in fact, he's still even a more humble guy. But for the fact, the hatred for Asiwaju may get that guy out of office. It was Tinubu it was the love for Tinubu that brought you in, all the machinery, or
Mhm.
your ringing power that brought you in. Now, that thing might get you out of the office.
It's
What an irony, you know?
is really a sad one. And then we have another story here. Tinubu seek tribunal order to inspect election materials on page 7 of the Blue Leadership newspaper. We have a major headline here also: fuel scarcity. Marketers disagree on uniform petrol pricing. These are some of the issues when you don't even know where to go. So many
Yeah.
laws, so many things from different quarters. That's something that is peculiar in Nigeria here. You see something like a major crisis, but you have others from different offices, different authorities, and then you don't even know which one to do or who to turn to. It's really sad. Why I turned down NNPP senatorial seat. This is coming from Shikari on page 6 of the Leadership newspaper. INEC drops to Doguwa from election winners lists on page 16 of the paper. Of course, he was arrested the other day, and of course, he was also bailed with a fine of 500 million. These are some of the issues. Somebody is being charged for murder of course, was arrested for killing during the presidential election, and then he has been bailed already. Of course, the money is there. What do you expect? This is Nigeria. Welcome to Nigeria. We move on now to some of the stories here that says tackle economy security challenges. NSCIA urges Tinubu on page 16 of the newspaper. NNPCL moves machines to Nasarawa ahead of March 21st drilling date. 10th National Assembly won't be executive's rubber stamp. This is coming, of course, from the Senate President Lawan. These are all the stories this morning on the newspaper review. And one of the story that really got to me this morning, apart away from the first scarcity, of course, and of course, election issues, is a pregnant woman that was gang raped. 8 months pregnant woman that was gang raped. That is really a sad one, and I'm really hoping that the authorities
On Women's Day. Okay.
on a Women's Day, yes, it's very sad. And
And
then
it's a reminder of the kind of society or how cruel we are as a people. And you know, one thing we talk about treatment of women, the good thing, even with men, we have sisters, we have daughters, we have mom, and we know the kind of love we have for those people. For you to see a woman and maltreat her, you're just stupid. And I think that this morning I woke up this morning and I said, some people are good and stupid. You understand? But some people are bad and stupid. Those are the dangerous ones. You understand? Some good people can be stupid. Doesn't mean that because you're a good person, you are not stupid. But when you are bad and stupid, or wicked and stupid, in fact, your punishment is, those are the kind of things I call bad, wicked, and stupid. Because you are just a wicked soul to rape a woman. That is the highest stupidity, because I don't actually need to rape you don't need to rape anybody if you are a normal human being. So that is the stupidity. And that wickedness added to it puts you in hell straight away.
it's really sad, and I don't even know the pleasure someone wants to get from a woman that is already 8 months gone. And I could imagine her pain, the husband's pain. This is something she will have to live
Exactly.
with for the rest of her life. This is not going to go away, of course we know. So I'm really appealing um, that the authorities will do something about it, and they will do that uh, immediately. Immediately. And of course, on the fuel issue, like we've been discussing, Daddy Chris, is
Yes.
something that if we come here, I think if we have some of the footages, well, it would be
Yes,
nice.
yes.
Yes.
In fact, I was looking at to put it in concept as you're talking. I will just allow the audience to see some of the things we go through. Hello.
Yes, sir. So
And
it's really
I think where it is really, really touchy is where you see a woman like this. Let's just share this with the audience so that before you come in, Princess.
Struggling to get fuel. How do you do? 5 a.m. Since 5 a.m.
Yes, and I started from the back.
And you brought your child?
I was
since
even
5?
here yesterday.
Are you serious?
This is my second time of coming. The thing has really been terrible. So we don't know what to do.
And I see that your baby is behind with school uniform.
Yes,
So he came here with you as early as that?
Yes, because I had to buy the fuel in order to take him to
Take
school.
him to school.
Because I can't come here then go back home to pick him.
Wow, this is very serious. We are so sorry about this, man. But how do you feel about this? This whole thing started some days, barely 2 days after the presidential election. Now,
I don't know if they will, are we hopeful? That's the question. Should we be hopeful that things will change? If immediately after the presidential election we are seeing this, what next?
okay, now we have elections coming up on Saturday. Do you think this will hinder this election? Because
Sure.
as you can see, people are really
Sure, because
getting
it's going to
frustrated.
restrict a lot of people's movements. For sure. Because I won't sacrifice my fuel that I came here to queue for how many hours to get to drive to my village to go and vote. I will reserve my fuel in order for my kids to go to school. Assuming it's a drive-through, you buy your fuel and you move. It's okay. But in this kind of case, I come, I queue with my kid, and at the end I get fuel, then you expect me to use that same fuel to drive to my village to go and vote. What will be my benefit? After all, during the presidential election, my vote didn't count.
You think you okay? You actually believe, but think your vote did not count.
Yes, because my candidate didn't win, and I expected him to win.
So, of course, a candidate didn't win, so our vote didn't count. Listen, Princess, let's go on a quick break. When you come back, you start this thing. All right, thank you so much. Let's
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate for huge extra opportunity in diaspora. Look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15th to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814 358 2856. The Nigerian Week, celebrating the best of Nigeria from the rest.
Hello, you're welcome back. This is Good Morning, Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, it's International Women's Day, and we are happy, although we saw some very disturbing news on the headlines this morning. People gang raping 8 months pregnant lady. It's really a sad one. We could see the pains of Nigerians also, the pains they're going through. We can't get money, they can't get fuel, they can't travel safely on the highways. And of course, a lot also believe that their votes, their rights were trampled upon. And so we have a lot of pending issues. Where do we go from here? Of course, I will be bringing in a guest soon that will be discussing today. Of course, it's international on a lighter note. Today is International Women's Day, so we should be happy regardless. Of course, I'll be bringing in a guest this morning that will be joining us from Lagos. Of course, she's a Nollywood actress. But before that, I really the fuel lingering crisis, and then I even heard that some of the states are selling way above the normal price in Abuja here. Of course, in Abuja you could get for 195, 198, 199 thereabout. But when I hear stories like in Delta State, Edo, Port Harcourt, some of the, of course, Western states selling for as far as high as a 400, 500 is really heartbreaking. How would people survive? Of course, like that lady said, you don't expect her to wake up 5 o'clock. It's painful. I practically saw her child behind the car, and of course, a little child, a child that is supposed to be sleeping at that time, already up, the struggling of being a Nigerian. This is what you get. This is who we are. And then it's really painful that it has gotten to the stage where even mothers, married women that are supposed to be home taking care of families, will come out and queue because, of course, they don't have a choice and all that. Is really pathetic. And then we hope, like we said, also subsequently we'll bring in some of these authorities also, so you could hear from them. But before then, we are really hoping that the appropriate authorities will have to do the needful to make sure that these some of these issues are addressed and as soon as possible. Of course, we saw a story also on one of the major headlines that says that for crisis scarcity, we have to link that after the election. But we're hoping that just immediately after the governorship election, this whole thing will come to an end so that people will have their lives back. Like I said, another woman that did that said that she has been frustrated. And of course, you know how it is when you cannot even go out with your car. You cannot even book a ride because there's always surge. Drivers are busy because they have limited vehicles compared to the number of people that want to go out without their cars. Of course, if I don't have fuel, I don't have strength to go and queue. I will have to go out also on a ride, and this is where we have the surge and the traffic. So we're really hoping that this will come to an end soon. And on the Naira policy, I actually went to the bank yesterday, not like I went to for any transaction anyway. I went to Airtel and I say I saw the queue and I went there. I was just interacting with some of these people. You could see people sitting on the floor, you could see people even lying down on the floor, you could see young and old frustrated. So I don't get it. They are not able. Of course, yesterday also was one of the Nollywood finest, Peter Doshi's birthday, and he said at 76 or so he's not happy, and because he has so much money but he cannot lay hands on this money, he doesn't have fare to go out, and they expect him to be happy at this age. This is really sad that in a country like ours we get to this stage and this point. So we're really appealing that come what may, at the end of the day, this week after this election, wahala up and down, people should be able, of course, to assess their monies and, of course, have fuel to go out. Also, we know that a lot of people are protesting, a lot of people are coming out as regarding the election results. And so we keep saying it that no matter what, we know that people are grieved, but no matter what, do it peacefully and do it within the confines of the law. And then we don't have to necessarily have more issues because we're as a people, as a nation, I feel like we have enough. We have more than enough already. We have issues that a lot of people are getting frustrated. You could see that because of the Naira swap policy and of course the fuel scarcity issues. A lot of people are already backing out that they are not going back to their states to vote. Of course, who wants to go through the trauma? And who knows whether or not your vote will count? So at the end of the day, we have to be peaceful at everything we do because we already have too much problems in the country, from fuel to naira swap to elections to problems are just too much in this country. And then we feel like don't add more. We know that you are grieved. We know that you're not you have your expectations, but please do it within the confine, like I always say, confine of the law, and do it peacefully because we don't want to add more to all these problems. And that decrease, I was looking at one of the major headlines also that says um the fuel scarcity and of course the naira swap. Now the market people, where do we go from here? People are now rejecting the old notes. They don't care whether the order is coming from the Supreme Court, and this is because we're in a failed state. Of course. I can't hear you from here, Daddy Chris. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. I mean, you can understand from a typical Nigerian point of view that you might take this money and you may not be able to spend it. That is their fear. And market women are always happy because the government does not communicate. They do certain things without actually proper communication. But again, we cannot continue to blame the government on this. The government has taken a very big stand. I was very happy with the decision, other than this election that is a mess now. I was happy that we should sacrifice for Nigeria, and I think we have. But one funny thing, when you were from one of the first spots, I quite like it. These guys were suspecting that he has political undertone. So let's listen to one of them. Guys, I really wanted to listen to this guy.
Some said, well, because the president-elect Tinubu, he said during his campaign that he's going to remove fuel subsidy. So for that reason, the marketers are anticipating that, and that's why the scarcity has, increased again, and now it's hard to get fuel. But I saw.
All right, you see, that is one of the really. I want you to really spend some few seconds on this fuel scarcity. You understand? Because one of the challenges we face is if there's election around the corner, people cannot go around. It's one of the best way to stop people from actually voting. It's like it's like our guest is almost joining us from Lagos. We'll see if you join us in a minute. Add her to the show. I can see her. Let's hope she'll be able to join us so you can continue to celebrate the Happy Women's Day. Yes.
Yes.
Hello, Rosemary.
Hello. Morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you. Yes, I'm gonna be with two women for some 2 seconds, and I will let you people gossip it out. Talk about yourself, celebrate yourself. But listen, I shared today's with you. I remember my mom when it comes to, she's late now. I know how much she lived her life practically for me. There are so many things in a woman's life, and we don't come to this world without a woman. And somebody said something to me one day, and I'm sorry to remind you guys that you guys are actually more powerful than us, but you pretend. Because
you can say that again.
I've never seen where they say fatherless home. You only have motherless home. I've never seen fatherless home. Have you seen any? Because the child is surviving.
As I lived, I have not.
I haven't seen it.
So you see the truth?
So, we have with us Rosemary Ogbonna. She's in Nollywood. I call her the finest actor ever. One of the finest of the, I love her so much. I call her my mama. Of course, you know her. She's the face of Hollywood. She's a very good actress, of course. Welcome to the show, ma'am. It's very nice to have you here. Can you rotate your phone to have a better view? Or Daddy Chris, that's okay. We can go like that.
That's fine. Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
All
right. So it's very nice. You're welcome to the show. Of course, this is today we celebrate women, the strong woman, the beautiful woman, and all. And of course, I have to bring you on the show because, of course, you fit into this. I know you're strong, you're beautiful, you're hardworking. Of course, you're amazing. And nice to have you on the show. So today is International Women's Day. What comes to your mind when you woke up this morning? What was the first thing that came to your mind?
Well, I want to first say thank you for bringing me here, and to your boss, the man who loves the women. Well, I'm saying that in a positive light, remembering your mother and all the women around you. Yeah. So we celebrate you too, first and foremost. Now, KESSY, back to you. I hope I fit into all of those that you did qualify me with.
Because over the years, we've been together over the years.
I'm leaving you to have it, okay? Enjoy the day.
Okay, that's right.
I know you do. We've been together over the years, and of course, I know you're strong. You've been through a lot, and then you're still standing. Of course, it's not easy. Yes, so you woke up this morning, it's a day. What actually came to your mind this morning?
The first thing that came to my mind at today's Women's Day celebration is that of women bonding. It draws my mind back to the author Mariam Abba, who wrote so long a letter. It's an old text, but it's still relevant if you ask me. In celebrating women, life generally is all about memories, good, bad, and all of that. So I thought about the issues that Mariam Abba treated in so long a letter, the text. Well, pardon me, because I'm a literature
Of course, go
student.
ahead. Even me, I read that also in school.
Oh, that's
Sure, yeah.
beautiful. Being a writer too, I cannot but go through the text because, as you know, literature is the mirror of the society. Talking about that, I remember women in the area of bonding. In recent times, we've had issues, gender issues. People have quite misinterpreted some parts and all of that. Women, I'm not going to say women are doing enough, but I want to also say that women need to do a lot, from our family units to the larger society. Because what we turn into the system is what comes out to the society on the long run. I want to encourage women mostly to bond positively because it helps. It helps the girl child, it helps the young adult, it helps the young woman. A lot of people are going through a lot. You just called me a strong woman. I want to use mine as a case study. For instance, I had said in the past years I've had to struggle with certain health issues, certain traumas, certain troubles, and on like that. I've also had a few women to lean on who would encourage me and say, "You're coming out of it. Your health is going to bounce back." And I drew strength from those women. I'm not going to start mentioning names, but I'm trying to say that bonding helps a lot. And in celebrating women, we should do a lot to bond with ourselves,
That's right.
positive, because it's going to
Positive.
leave just it's going to leave a lot of positivity in our minds, and it will also help mold the young woman that is coming on behind us. Um, there are lots of vices going on. I did watch a video of a woman trying to correct a young woman who was dressed. I'm not gonna. She was half nude, and what came to my mind at that moment was, is she going to be proud of this picture in the next 15,
Next
20
10
years?
years. It's really
If
sad.
you're doing right now as a woman, and in the next 20 years, you're going to duck your head in shame when that thing is called upon, this is the time to stop. This is the time to take appraisal of our lives and all the things that we have done. Nobody is perfect. Even the men, in order to make the society more habitable and more tolerable, we need to do a lot. We're doing something. Yes, we're doing something, but we still need to go on like that, because on the long run, it's going to tell even on our male children. And there's something that has been quite worrisome to me. When we hear young men also misbehave and all that, I want to also believe that women spend more time on their child and
More
spend
than
less
the
with the
male.
male.
Yes, that's true.
When these young men come into the society, they believe
They
it's
become
uhuru for them,
later.
freedom. They
Yes,
do all sorts,
yes.
and nobody is able to. At that time, you can't change an adult. I hope you understand the point I'm coming from.
Of
So,
course.
as women, we really need to um, take this adequate steps to also check some of these things, because the men you see in the society are products of a family unit.
Of
So
course.
if we have
They
men
came from
from a
family.
dysfunction, exactly. So if we have men from a dysfunctional family unit with wrong moral vices and all of that, it's going to tell on the society. There's so much hate. There's so much. You see, if a man if a man is taught to treat a lady right, for instance, treat his sister, his mother, his friend, or whoever, his neighbor, he's going to come out a good man in the society. But when
That is
you
right.
teach a man that, oh, I'm the man, oh, I'm bullish, he's going to live bullishly. So I am not saying that the man is not going to be a man. A man will be a man, but um, some of those things actually, when we do a little more, it will help. Our fathers too owe this responsibility. As I celebrate women today, I also want to celebrate all the good men that are living up to their
right.
responsibility.
Yes, and
Yes,
so
because
this
I mean,
morning, yeah, go ahead.
like it or lump it, the two of them work hand in hand. We cannot live in isolation. Women
That is
cannot
right.
live in isolation. Our
That's true.
strength,
So what?
most of us,
Yes,
especially the
one of
married
the
ones, our strength.
yes, go ahead.
Go
After
ahead.
that, I'll throw a question. Yes, one of the major
I
headlines
was
we saw this morning. Yes, after which you could go
mm,
back to that hold that thought. One of the major headlines we saw this morning, and when it comes to women in government or in governance, when we talk about the political sphere, one of the major headlines on the paper this morning said three female senators, and of course, 98 elects receive certificates of return. And then one will want to look at these numbers and then you weigh them. I feel like the woman is not being given enough chance. Now, what's your take on this when it comes to a woman and governance?
you see, I feel the same or even worse. Because I mean, if you don't give these women are very good managers. We are prudent. If a woman is able to mold a number, some women even have as much as 5 children, 6 or more. They multitask. They have a job, they have a husband to look after, they have a extended family to look after, they have the children, they multitask. So if the woman is able to do all of that and she's able to come out strong, even with excellence in academics, why wouldn't you give the woman a chance? I mean, look at the likes of Madam Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She's done excellent. She's put our country, Nigeria, on the map. You know, there are some outstanding women. Look at the people. Look at someone like Maya Angelou. She's put also the writers on the map. She's a symbol that you cannot but reckon with. There are lots of women doing diverse things across the world. There's Chimamanda Adichie, if you come to literature aspect of it. I mean, there are also women in government in other parts of the world. Why not our country, Nigeria? Why the stigmatization? Why this constant bullying? Because I see it as a kind of cold bullying. Because if you think that this woman is not good enough to hold a position, then there's no discussion here. If the men are able to do this,
Yes.
and look at the track records over the years, it's been men dominating the assembly. What has actually come out of our democracy from this number of years? But if we give women a chance, these women will be able to give back what they have inside of them. A lot of women have experiences. A lot of women have something to really give, but they are not given the opportunity. I think it's sad. I think it's disheartening. I think it's primitive. I think it's backward. I think it's wrong. I think it's faulty. I think the foundation is not sensitive. I think that I just think that the men should also wake up. It's not about leaving the woman. I mean, sadly, they still hold on to their old beliefs and norms that, oh, the woman's place is in the kitchen, is in her husband's home, and all of that. Why so? The world has gone even beyond that.
Yes, I feel that the society already tagged the woman as vulnerable. Of course, they've been relegated to the background. Of course, one of the headlines this morning, also one of the major newspapers, also read that a woman that is eight months pregnant was gang raped. And then I saw that headline and I was cold. All of a sudden, I had goosebumps. Of course, I couldn't even hide that one because I felt it. I don't know how we live in a society where a woman that is almost due, you will be okay, like gang rape such a lady. And then these are some of the issues when we talk about the woman, of course, here in the part of the country. People do things and they easily get away with it. And you might be surprised that this people will just go away without proper investigation or without even being caught. And then the woman also needs protection. That is what I see also. And then what's your take on that? Because that headline also threw me off balance this morning.
A woman who was raped?
Yes, she's 8 months pregnant. She was gang raped.
Oh, oh, this is so sad. This is
And
sad.
this is
This
coming
is
on
heartbreaking.
International Women's Day.
Oh, this is in fact that rape is a symbol of a rape on the position of the woman. It's also a rape on the position of the woman. I mean, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Like
This is
I felt
sad.
so sad this morning. Of course, not just this woman is already like 8 months pregnant, and then I don't know how can so a group of people want to gang rape such a person, and because this is something she's going to live with for the rest of her life, and of course this is something she's not going to forget also. And so I feel her pains. I feel for the husband, of course, her family as well. And then when we talk about International Women Day, we're supposed to be celebrating every woman today, and then we have headlines, issues like this coming out of this part of the world, this country. I feel like the people here, the society here, they've treated the woman so badly. In a situation where you see something like this, and then it's supposed to be, I think it's just one of the paper or two of the papers that took that headlines, and then we had over 20 and of course newspapers this morning, national dailies. It's really sad, and I feel for her. And then when we discuss further about women on International Women Day, we could see that I think the men will also want to think that once woman, they used to, like, I was discussing with somebody, and the person said that no, he would not want to settle down with somebody that is coming, that is already at somewhere. He wants to bring in somebody that is a nobody, of course, because women in power tend to be want to rub shoulders with men, of course, want to be equal with men. Now, what's your take on this?
First of all, I want to go back to that issue of rape, gang rape. I think that our legislators are not doing enough. That's why we need a
More
substantial
female,
female
more, yes,
representation in
more of
in
them,
the
yes.
exactly. Because if we have enough women, they'll be able to speak up for women. Because the voice of the woman is almost silent in the legislative arm of government. And you know what? The men are not doing enough. If you have a mother, you have a daughter, you have a she-child, and she's been gang raped, are they going to sweep it under the carpet? The
At
answer is
all.
no. It's because most of them are after their selfish interests. They keep on putting down women. They are not even treating the issues as it were. Otherwise, if somebody does this and his the arm of justice quite grips him and they serve him with justice, others would take a clue from that. They wouldn't want to toe that lane. But because every time the issue of rape comes up, it's swept under the carpet, they begin to blame the woman. You hear them say it's illicit dressing. Some will say, oh, how did she present herself? She's vulnerable, she's this, she's that. And their mothers are also vulnerable. These things, they have protection, but what about these women? What about the weak women? What about women who do not have anyone to stand up for them or speak up for them? The men are not doing enough. This is a call, as a matter of fact, for the men to stand up for their women. Stand up for your daughter, stand up for your mother, stand up for your sister, stand up for your neighbor, stand up for the citizenry. Because on an International Women's Day celebration, this is not the best of news to hear.
Yes, like I said, it's really sad. It's very sad.
And if we can have at least we may not in our society here. We may not get equal representation of women because these things. In Africa, I don't know why we haven't quite left those fields.
Yes,
that's it. Otherwise, if we have a reasonable number of women in government, in legislation, justice will be served. And that's why, without even hearing this news, I told you I started off reasoning about the issue of women bonding. If women can bond and discuss some of these issues and find a way and have a pathway, we have lots of women organizations that people do not even know. Advocacy is not even enough to let people know where they can air their minds, where they can go, what can be done, and how they can get results for some unanswered questions. So having said this, there is so much that if I keep going that way, it will just demoralize me. Sadly, I feel I empathize with the woman.
Yes. Yes, we sympathize with her and her
And
family because, of course, we know that this is something she's going to live with for the rest of her life. This is not something that is going to go away easily because she is pregnant and even due. And that is not, regardless, we feel like this is too much for any person to take in. And then we really feel for her. I feel for the husband as well because I know I wouldn't want to put myself in that kind of shoes at all. And of course, I don't want any other person to be there also. But what can we do? These are things you have to go through living in this part of the country where the law, there is no law, no structure, nothing at all is working. Nothing at all is working. So this morning also we'll talk about. Do you think it's because the woman? Let me ask you this question now. You talked about women bonding, but you know that I feel like there is this competition amongst women. When it comes to women, you see things of they easily fight over things. There's this envy, there's this jealousy among women, unlike the men folks. Now, what's your take on that? That could be the issues here also.
That's, when I started out, and I mentioned the issue of women bonding, this traits which you mentioned are part of the things discussed in Miriam Abba's books. It's an old book, but I'm afraid it's still relevant in today's society. If you go to every sector, the issue of jealousy, the issue of distrust, and all of that is still happening today. The thing is, an average woman sees the next woman as a competitor, and it's to some extent I would say it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy because if we have issues like this, how then can we come together and work out our salvation? If you go to offices, you will see a woman who is heading an office, who is in a higher cadre. She feels either jealous or she's always taking on the next woman who is below her for fear of losing her position or something. So I don't know what we need to do.
Yeah.
I didn't get that, please. Say again.
I say also they feel threatened when they see another woman coming up stronger than they are, and then they are just threatened unnecessarily.
Okay.
Okay, I think we lost her there, her network. But
she's definitely coming back. Once
yes,
she comes back, I will add her to the broadcast. It's quite interesting. Yes. I wanted to ask her a particular question, really, because it's okay to blame women for being for their jealousy. Sometimes it's also maybe they are being defensive, because you have stories where you bring in another woman and she takes it over from you. That makes you quite uncomfortable. Let's bring Rosemary back. She will be back in a minute. And then next time is to be a good guest for this kind of talk. All right.
And of course, I was about to ask her also, being an actress. She's one of the oldest Nollywood actresses I know. Of course, she's a good actress. Like I said, she has been in the industry for years. I was very little when I met her, and we've been together. And then I wanted to ask her also that when it comes to the film industry, because that is where she's from, we see a lot of women, but I think the women there are doing well more than the male folks, and then we give them a round of applause. What do you think, Rosemary?
At the time, I lost out a part of the conversation. So would you try to give me the key points I pick up?
Yes, Daddy KRIS actually wanted to ask you a question. Go ahead, Daddy KRIS, and then after that, I'll shoot mine.
Okay. My question is, don't you think women are being defensive? It's okay to say, hey, let me welcome the other woman. And you are like, good, like it or not, every woman is like a flower that flourishes somewhere, and people, men, we are like these people looking to devour, and they always try. And when you have another flower here, you already, it's a natural thing to be threatened, and to expect women to just embrace the other one, though in a very unhealthy way, is sad. But I think it's a reaction to past experiences. You bring your friend in, You introduce your friend somewhere, she takes it over and stuff like that. That is where the unhealthy competition is coming in. And then Princess was asking the second question, which is, how are you guys doing in Nollywood? Women like that. You guys are doing better than the guys, actually.
Well, first you asked if I don't think we're being too defensive. We're not being too defensive. You see, besides this, the mental strength. What else does the woman have? She doesn't have the physique or the strength of a man to match up with the man.
Only
so when she's in need, she only has
only the physique, man. Only the physique. You know, let me give you back a little bit back to the slavery time. You know, it was women that were there. If you guys in Africa wouldn't understand what slave trade did to women and what the African black woman did. You know, in the past, men were like, they were just like breeders. They just bring them in to breed the women. So they make children for the slave master. So the mother, the typical black woman here was a father, was a mother, bringing up her own child. No father. That's why even sometimes we say the Jamaicans, to some extent, people in the Western world, they did not have that sense of fatherhood. We don't know how to play it because we're not like the African father who knows, hey, this is my role in the home. We didn't play the role of a father here. So the woman has always been stronger. That's what I keep saying. You black women are extremely strong. No story
That's
about
right.
it. So the physical strength, I don't know what they mean by physical strength. Physical is controlled by here. You know, the here, you guys are better here, so you control us. I like what you guys say, that the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. The head is there.
well, that is which I still don't believe that the woman is being defensive. I just believe that the woman is just being herself. I mean, the woman, like you said, plays the role for everybody. Who then now looks after her? Who watches her back? She takes care of the home, her career, her husband, her brothers, extended family, and all of that. Who takes care of the woman? It's quite traumatic when women are depressed. The mental state of the woman is something that has to actually be taken into cognizance, because every time some challenges pop out, she's left to deal with it if she doesn't have the next person to interact with or to lean on. So we cannot emphasize the part that this woman, yes, we may be strong, but we also need that shoulder from time to time to lean on. The woman is not being too defensive. The woman, you give back what you have. If you don't have enough to give back, then you're empty. There's nothing to give back in return. So it's what you sow to us. I mean, on a lighter note, that we give back.
I know.
That's right.
You know, that's why sometimes, maybe that's why you guys kick us out, because the typical black woman in London, for instance, she goes to work. She have the baby, she cooks, she run the home, and then you guys get enough and say, get out of my sight. You know, it's like we become nuisance to you guys here. Very many, to some extent, you know, we are like nuisance to them. They are actually better off. Economically, the government has made it comfortable for them, so they don't even need you. So, if you add to the stress, I go to work, I cook for you, I make the babies, the kids are on me, and you also give me order out. Not that I need you for anything. So that's how they send us out. We're always on the street here. When we come back home, if you misbehave, they put your bag outside. You just pick your rubber bag, not a good bag.
In this part of the world, it's not like that.
Pick something from what you said. If you misbehave, you said if you misbehave. So there's a misbehavior, there's an action that brings a reaction.
I want us to say this. I know, Rosemary, you said that is relative because in this part of the world, you can rape your own wife. Go and tell my father that I raped my wife. In fact, that's other kind of work. You understand? But here,
and you cannot even say it publicly, of course, here in Nigeria.
I said here in Nigeria, you cannot
That's
even
not
as a
imaginable.
wife and as a woman, you can't say that to a friend or to your family that my husband raped me, because they will see that you're insane. He's your husband. He has the right to your body. But of course, I believe in some parts of the of the world you can do that and get away with it.
No, you're in prison here. If your wife say no, you stop. In fact, the thing will drag in, because you know what, you know the implication. If she said no, you stop. It's not a girl I'm talking. Your wife said no, okay, man. What are you talking about? Because you're gonna go to prison. This is the problem here. You understand? So we are now at the time we are now scared. Hello, when they are saying, in fact, we are more scared of you guys now than the other way. Maybe in Nigeria they can. Yeah, you can't. You just cannot. So how do you
Anyway,
Okay, now that brings
send message to the women here?
that brings me to what I said earlier.
Huh?
You know, earlier when I was having this chat with KESSY, you weren't there. I talked about the mothers doing enough from the family unit. I have a family in the UK, for instance. My sister-in-law is not even a Nigerian, but she's an African. She's married to my younger brother. They've lived there, they're British citizens. But you see, I have visited them. I've seen how they live. They live so well. As a matter of fact, my brother is one of the happiest men, because this woman is a strong pillar of support. She's so kind to the family. She's, in fact, in her role as a woman, I can score her 80%. I cannot give anybody 100%. So by the time I say you should know that she's doing so well. She hasn't had, they've been there for over a decade. She hasn't had to kick him out. She hasn't had to, there hasn't been any reason for us to hear bad news back home. And they are living peacefully and happily. So it starts from the foundation, except those of them who want to fall by the wayside, after all, by peer group influence or all of the overwhelming structure in the UK. If you know where you're coming from, if your foundation is right, at this point, I want to bring in the biblical injunction, which says, if the foundation is wrong, what can the righteous do? If your foundation is right, you look back and know where you're coming from. You really don't want to fail, especially when you know that the man hasn't quite done anything intolerable. This is why I preach tolerance, love, understanding. There's no two ways to it. When we don't have this, when we're not able to tolerate one another or each other, these things will crop up. And it starts from the family unit. It starts from the family unit, because
oh no.
Oh, I bet her network again. I really wanted to hear from her. Let's balance it. Let's wrap it up now with that Nollywood. What's going on there? We see that a lot of women, I was about throwing that question myself, that a lot of women, you could see from Nollywood that it is that women are really doing so well. They'll come and they buy houses, they buy cars, they live all the flamboyant life, so colorful, and then it's not. But when it comes to the men, it's not the same. So I actually wanted to find out.
We need to ask that. Let's get Rosemary back. Yeah, Rosemary, sorry,
well,
your network.
Just to answer your question, the question you asked me about Nollywood.
Yes. But there is a question here for you, right? Daddy KRIS, there's a question there for Rosemary, right? One of the comments.
Yeah, you asked me about Nollywood earlier.
Yes, I was asking that we see like in Nollywood, it's as if the women are doing more than the men. How is that when it comes to, of course, in Nollywood, we see that the ladies are doing so well. They come into Nollywood and then in belly months, yeah, they are doing so well. Houses, they buy houses, they build so many houses, flamboyant lifestyle. But when it comes to the men, it's not the same. So what's going on there?
You see, before now, what characterized Nollywood was this same issue of gender inequalities and all of that. And then the woman folk constantly was either, some would say they were harassed to get a role. Some would say, well, that they were stigmatized for something which they knew little or nothing about. Some would say that the clique or bandwagon thing did not permit them to thrive. But I want to say that the woman has, in our part or in our Nollywood, have quite understood that, you know, to get up there and to remain there for a long time, you have to also mentor someone. You have to also mentor someone. Mentorship is quite important in this business. And besides that, we'll find a lot of young people, young women standing up for themselves, coming out. And the economic factor too is quite encouraging a lot of people to seek for livelihood or the other means. Some will say passion has driven them to this industry. Some will say economic factor. Some will say it's their career path. But in all, because in the past we used to have the men, not always, a few men who had the means to call the shots in the production, either producers, directors, writers, give some conditions to women before they are able to get a job, take advantage of them, you know, molest some of them. In fact, it was a serious issue in the past. So when women came on board and became directors, like people, we have people like Franca Brown, we have people like MM Song, we have people like Pato Gray, and a lot of women who today, even Hilda Dokubo, we have people like Patience Ozokwo, people like Florence Onuma, who is already in diaspora now. These women now began to mentor younger women and having them on board as directors. Would you tell a fellow woman that, would you molest a fellow woman before you give her a role? The answer is no. So women started this issue of bonding, sharing their problems, sharing their challenges, trying to help either a daughter or a sister. That way the gap became slimmer. So I think that what women, I have to give it to the women folk, because when the women came up into the areas where men dominated the directing scene. At a time you could hardly, I think it was only Franca Brown that was into directing. Now we have very many good directors. We have a good number of them who are directors. We have quite a lot of them now doing so well. I can't even remember their names because a lot of women are in that field. You know, prior to this time, the industry, especially that professional aspect of it, the directing, writing, production aspect, was dominated by the male folk, by the male folks. But right now, the women they're up on their game. Right now, the women are doing a lot. So I can't possibly have a woman who is at the head of the bed.
When it comes to the income, it seems though that the women are doing any more than the men, because we could see that, for instance, people will start the career barely maybe the same time, and in barely months you see the ladies. Of course, I know that a lot of rumors also says that the women folks, they do a lot of things for money, and they will come and say it's from is of course their earnings. But we know that the women, like I said, especially the young ones that are just coming into Nollywood, if you look at them today, the lifestyle and all that is not even something to measure up with to the men when it comes to the men. That is what I want you to talk about. When it comes to the women, yes, go ahead.
I'm not going to dismiss that aspect of it, because just like you rightly pointed out, the women quite dominate the industry. Maybe because they are larger in number, or most of the films shot, apart from the epic stories that are shot in recent times, we shoot mostly glam stories. And if we're doing some glam stories around now, the women, people, the audience the viewers always want to see their female celebrities or something. But talking about the earnings, sometimes when I see their lifestyle and what they celebrate, or the kind of financial engagements, I cannot but wonder, where is this coming from? Because are we selling enough films to be able to afford some of the cars these female celebrities drive? The answer is no. Is the producer able to make half the sum that sponsored the life? Please say it again. I didn't hear that.
I say even me, sometimes I wonder too.
That's That's right. So I just think that these people are given to some vices, and in this time where we have some moral decay, of course, it's been going on, but I think that with the growth of the social media thing, it's way hyped, it's way out of the world, and a lot of things are creeping in, a lot of ugly incidences and indecent again. So I don't want to believe that their earnings and their lifestyle is from their remunerations. I just think that some of them are engaged in something that we do not know. I cannot speak for sure. I cannot pinpoint what it is they're into, but I must tell you that, come on, come on. In my Nigerian style, let me say, haba. How much did they pay them now? You know,
I don't know.
you come up, you display this Jeep this month. The next month,
They buy
you're misleading
mansions. Yes.
You're misleading young people on social media that, small girl, big God. Oh, my God has done it.
Yes.
What your God do? Is God selective? He's not selective. Is it the same hustle? I've been in this industry long enough to know that most of them do not earn as much. Sadly, they
That
know
is
what.
really nice.
It's sad to say that they kind of impact the wrong notion in the onlooker or their fans, because some of them go extra length to do unprintable, unthinkable things
Just
that
to
you
fit
cannot even
in. Just to fit in, of course, into the society, the glam
Exactly.
lifestyle, the Instagram, whatever they do, and of course, just to
Exactly.
mislead the younger ones, like you said, that are coming. If not, how can it? What can you see about an actress that just came in after like barely 8 months? They're buying mansions here for their parents in Lagos. They're driving Benz and all that. Like you said, even the producers of these movies, how much are they earning? So it's really pathetic, and we do hope that people will actually take a clue from this and not be misled by this set of people who want to be actress. And of course, I'm an actress, I have all the money. It's been
Anyway,
nice, so nice.
let
Yes,
me
that is
before Rosemary. Before you leave us, Rosemary. On that note, I would say
Yes.
things we take shape. Don't forget, Hollywood was built on drug money. What movie does it attracts some kind of funding, which are not always clean, and at the end, it becomes normal. All right. Not that it's going to, as long as it doesn't lead to so much moral decay, we allow it. In the past, Hollywood has been the one cleaning up their dirty money, doing all kind of shit. And our politicians, if they want to spend their money on our daughters, so be it. As long as it is not in a very negative way. You understand? I think they should, women are being used to collect the right things from them. So be it. As long as it's no more than that, why not? You understand? They be stealing the money. It's the politicians,
Well,
not the ones. Because men.
but Daddy Chris, they are not actually giving the monies to these girls for free. There's something, in Nigeria, nothing goes for nothing. So I would not advocate for that. So I believe in that. Today we celebrate the woman, the strong woman, the beautiful woman like myself, of course, and of course the amazing woman. So I feel that if you want to give to her, but not with conditions or something attached to it. These are some of the issues, but we're going to leave this for another day. Maybe
Yes,
Rosemary is trying to connect back, and then we can wrap up for the
yes.
day.
Let us
Rosemary,
hear from Rosemary, the last one on that, and then we'll let
it's
go.
so nice doing this with you this morning, Rosemary. And of course, today is our day. Don't forget to be beautiful, to be yourself, and of course, keep being strong and powerful, and of course, inspiring me. Of course, she's my role model. And so, and so, what do you have to say before you leave us this morning?
Thank you so much, KESSY. And Daddy Chris, I'd like to thank you for having me on your show this beautiful day. I celebrate every woman. I celebrate women around the world. I celebrate you, KESSY, for the strong woman that you have become. Looking back from the days I met you till now, I see lots of goodness around you. So I'm happy. And I'm glad that you have become what you have become. Keep striving for the best. I celebrate you too, Daddy Chris, for also identifying with the women. I celebrate you. I want to encourage every woman to keep bonding, keep being supportive, keep putting the good side in, so that on the long run, we are going to smile and say, yes, we have contributed largely to our society. And I want to make an appeal here. Who knows who might be watching? Give that woman a chance for that public office to be a contributor to the growth of our society. Give more women chances.
Thank you very
Women
much.
love thyself.
In fact,
It's not
Rosemary,
enough to say I'm doing enough.
Rosemary, there's a program we do every year. It's called the Girl Child Award, where we recognize women like you who are role model, and we will be on your case. Seriously, I'm quite impressed. So to hear from a Nigerian woman of this Nollywood at that matter, talking outside the box, your knowledge, your depth of knowledge is amazing. Thank you very much for being a blessing to us. We're proud of you.
Thank you for being part of the show. We appreciate you, and of course, we celebrate you also. Do have a very lovely day, ma'am.
Okay, so that is where we're going to try and wrap it tonight. Today,
Yes.
tonight. I like
This
to
morning, the face is my show. It's morning, the morning show, and of course, we've been speaking with Rosemary Ugbona, one of the oldest face in Nollywood. Of course, she started when I was very little, and I've been with her over the years. She has been my mentor, my role model.
Oh, she's still very beautiful.
Very, very beautiful. If you see her children, and they big past me, her children big past me, said. Yes, her children big past me, said.
I'm going to bring the women back because you see Ketencio now. I saw her on my social media. She's looking like a 20-something years old girl.
I don't get it.
Old anymore.
Yes, ever looking young on the 16. Yes, we roll. That is it.
Wow, yes, God, oh.
And of course, today is the International Women's Day. We say once again that happy Women's Day to every woman out there, to all the mothers doing amazing things, to all the young ladies out there, to all the old grandmas, all the old women out there. We just celebrate you today from SRO TV. We say congratulations, of course, and I'll keep being you, being yourself, do you, be amazing, be wonderful, keep being strong. And we know that sometimes it might tarry, but of course it will. You definitely live the best of life. And of course, don't stop loving yourself. Love yourself. And of course, today shares to every woman out there, and of course every strong beautiful woman out there. And of course, we don't forget to thank the men also. We love you all. Of course, like we said, you're the head and we're the neck, so we can't function without one another. Of course, we celebrate you fathers and the men out there also. That will be all for this morning. Thanks for being part of the show. We do this again tomorrow. You know how we do it. And of course, before I go, don't forget London Week, Nigerian Week London, where we bring amazing things. Some of these women also will be there, of course, to talk about our food, our culture, the music, and of course the food, and even the film. And of course, most importantly, the business meetings. When you come, of course, it's an opportunity to meet people, to do a lot of things. Also, we're going to have a lot of business forum and summit also there, so be part of it, don't be left out. And of course, we also have our ongoing registration of SRO TV, face of SRO TV. Please be part of it. All my very beautiful women, today is your day, so come out and register for just 500 naira. Of course, after that, send in your pictures, your age, and of course your state of origin, your location. That's all to be part of the show. You're amazing, you're doing well, keep doing well, and just someday you'll be at that place you've been inspiring to go to. So just stay strong. I leave you with this words today, that as a woman, you are enough. I'm not saying that you're enough in the sense that you don't need a man. No, you're enough. There are some things you can do on your own. Be strong. Don't rely on people. This is where the issues come from. When you keep depending on your boyfriends, on your this, go out. Once you're strong, go out. Look for something to do. Something good. I'm not saying just go out and misbehave, but there's something legal. Do something. Earn money. Be hardworking. And then this is how you become a manager tomorrow. You become a good mother, a good wife, of course, a good woman to the society as well. So take care of you, and while you are there, be safe. See you tomorrow. I'm Princess KESSY. Bye for now.
Ladies, are you ready to shine? Here's a golden opportunity for you to show the world the queen in you, as the second edition of Face of SRTV Ladies Edition is about to begin. What are you waiting for? Register online with just 500 naira and stand a chance of winning a cash prize of 100,000 naira and the deal of becoming our ambassador. There will also be consolation prizes for second and third place winners. To register, kindly pay the registration fee and send your name, age, picture, and state of origin to this number 0906 895 2170. For more inquiries, please call 0907 400 7816. Powered by SRTV London, the face of SRTV, who takes the crown.